show features content intended for mature audiences. If you'd like to view a content warning before listening, please check out the episode description. The views put forth by our hosts and our guest reflect the speaker's opinions and not the official stance of Oddball Foundation. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hey there, everybody. My name is Jason Wright. I'm the editor of Oddball magazine, and I am here today to talk about the week that was. And with always, I have my two special co-hosts, Chad Parento, associate editor of Oddball magazine. Hello.
It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. Skip the intros. Let's get to Xanadu.
Right. Xanadu. Hello, Tim.
Hello. I'm here with Gene Kelly and Olivia Newton-John. It's Xanadu.
Have to believe we are
magic. So before when we were having a little technical difficulties, these two rascals were doing Xanadu without any explanation. So please, what is the explanation behind Xanadu?
I don't even know where that, because my mind is very creative. I had this idea about Xanadu.
You're that creative.
And then I just went right to the trailer because it's Olivia Newton-John and Gene Kelly, Xanadu. Because if you repeat Xanadu like 3,000 times, Xanadu.
Have you ever seen Xanadu? I've never even seen it. What's it about?
I saw it as a little kid when I was like crushing on Olivia Newton-John, like a little kid.
Yeah, Olivia Newton-John was crushed on quite a bit.
And I had no idea. My littleness, I had no idea what was going on. I just was trying to watch the movie. It was very distracting.
I'd still crush on Olivia Newton-John. Is that bad?
Is she still alive?
I hope so, because then it'd be
that would be okay. I mean, if she's dead, that would be bad.
Chad.
I'm drawing a line.
Xana, do not go there. No.
Xanadu.
Xanadu? No.
So what is the premise of Xanadu? I've actually never even seen it.
It's a kind of a poorly done musical. It's like almost like the pot of gold. It's just this place, this magical place, Xanadu. Should we watch the whole trailer and let our audience know?
I mean, no, I don't think we should.
Show notes.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
Google, Xanadu trailer, and you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to get serious for a second.
Okay, that's enough.
Real quick, just get real quick serious. Last week the poetry world suffered a huge loss with the passing of Jeff Taylor. So I just want to give a moment of silence for Jeff Taylor. Prayers for his family. And I want to give you the floor to say anything you want to say about Jeff. I'll say real quick that he was an all-star at the Oddball Festival. Him and Ethan Mackler came down and help me out. They came down. It was amazing. It was an amazing event. But they also did. It was great to, Jeff supported Oddball Foundation. Jeff liked Oddball. Jeff was a part of the poetry world. And I just found out like last couple of days ago that he passed. So my condolences to his family on behalf of Oddball Magazine and Oddball Foundation. Chad, Tim, do you want to say anything about Jeff before we move on?
Yes. Jeff was a kind man. He was a Pied Piper. He promoted poetry. That was his life, and he's just a wonderful guy. And also, we lost John Domini, a writer that I know from California in the past day or so. So, prayers to him as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm going over videos to see if there's anything I can share in the weeks to come. Um, it's kind of funny because the last time he showed up at Stone Soup Live, it was in 2022 in July of that year. Oh no, 2023. No, it was 2022. And the Garage Poets were part of my plan to do a hybrid reading, and the filming was so unsuccessful. I was so fortunate that Jeff was able to record his own show and share it with the world. As he recorded numerous shows, especially with the Garage Poets open mic, that was a thing for a long time before he went live with Controverse.
Yeah,
and the Controverse had what could be its last show this past Monday as a tribute to the late Jeff Taylor. People were giving poems to share with the world. People were given paper copies of his poem, a clipboard, and I believe tape as well. So you might see his name pop up around the city a little bit, I hope it does soon.
Also, he was going to do the poetry go around at the my event with the Garage Poets for an hour, and I talked to Anna Jeffrey, and she's going to continue, and maybe we'll do it. Maybe that group will do a tribute to Jeff during the poetry go round in Salem in May 31st.
that's great. Yeah, I'll share one quick memory of that was really pretty cool and surreal when I was on a meet. Jeff Taylor hosted a Zoom open mic during a thunderstorm, and it was wild. He was outside. The thunder was coming down. He was reading his poetry. There was smoke in the air. It was just wild, and it was really cool. He was a cool guy. I really wish I got to know him a little bit better, but what I know of Jeff, he was great at Oddball Festival. Great to hang out with. He was super genuine, good guy. So he will be missed.
He was generously genuine.
Yeah.
Okay. With that being said, I just wanted to acknowledge that that was a big loss in our poetry world this week. So we're going back 2 weeks to March 7th.
We're going last week. Did we just transition there?
Yeah, that was a transition.
Transition in mid-sentence.
Yeah, I tried.
So he'll be greatly missed, and we're gonna go back next week for this week that was.
Yeah, that's called a transition. Thanks for calling out. Call the transition police. I didn't want to just talk about Jeff the whole time. I'm gonna greatly miss him, and I feel he owed his due. But you're a dick, Xanadu.
I should also say that Jeff was the only other person who A, was a fan of this podcast, and B, wasn't roped into becoming a fucking host.
I know.
He loved Carmen like this. He would be fucking thrilled at what's going on right now.
I think he would.
I personally wanted it to be the week of Was Not Was, where up on the floor, get on the floor, everybody walk the dinosaur. Boom, boom.
That was not was.
That song was crazy
boom,
at
boom,
the time when I heard that song.
Boom, boom.
That's
what we need. But no, did they say no? Yes, they did. They said we had to go with Xanadu because that's way more timely. Was Not Was a flash in the pan. Everyone quotes Xanadu.
Was Not Was, you're gonna get copyright.
Everyone quotes Xanadu.
It's Xanadu.
You kind of look like Xanadu. Like your middle name is Xanadu. Like you look like Timothy Xanadu Gazer. It's the beard, maybe? I don't know.
It's the Xanadu beard.
Wait a minute, Xanadu. I know who Xanadu is. Is he the fortune teller from that? What the fuck movie was that? Big? Was that?
That's Zoltan, you freak.
You kind of look like him, Jen. What? I would
say I am Tim Pool from the planet Xanadu. We do not like the Earth Tim Pool whatsoever. I am here to replace you.
I hate when they give the ending to the trailer. They gave away the whole movie. It's gonna be roller skating and singing and Xanadu.
Okay. All right. So let's get into. We're gonna go back to March 17th, and we're gonna
week that do.
March 17th. Was that St. Patrick's Day? While everyone else was getting blotto, Oddball magazine was putting out literary gems like this one.
Yeah.
What do you wait?
This poem by
Are
Mike
you-
Masterson Gibbons, where he speaks on the recent Donald Duck crisis, which is,
Wait, are you quoting? Are you quoting the copy I put down?
you put it there. Recent Donald Duck crisis.
Yeah, but did I say the blottoed part?
No, I said blotto.
Oh, okay, I was like, shit. Sometimes I can't control my ad copy. Plus, I was exhausted being at St. Patrick's all day in South Boston, so I could have written anything.
It looked like
after
you had a
that.
good time. It looked like a cloudy fucking day, though. That looked like a cloudy, cold day.
It wasn't too bad, but it was late enough. Thankfully, it started later, so the freaking drunk or started earlier or later. I think it started earlier, so the drunks didn't come out as much.
I saw someone get their head bashed in.
They just got
on video at.
They just got into fist fight at 9:30 in the morning instead of 11:30 in the morning.
I think if you take your shirt off and you're a gentleman, the Boston cops aren't going to take too kind to you.
Yes. All right, so we're at this.
But if you're two Irish gentlemen and you have your shirts off, that means it's time for fisticuffs. And maybe the police will chime in. Maybe the police will be part of the action. You can have a partnership. It's community.
Well, you want to get punched on the St. Patrick's Day parade, just walk up to someone and be like, "Frosted Lucky Charms, they're magically delicious."
Oh God.
I feel like if you were to bring up other cereals, that would be more start talking smack about honey smacks or something.
Honey smack. That's the cereal that you can shoot.
Oh my Mike Masterson Gibbons. An acrostic, damn it.
What about Nut and Honey? That cereal always caused a fight. What do you eat, Nut and Honey? That's it. We never talk anymore. I'm leaving you for mother.
I want a divorce.
Home.
Captain Crunch? What was he the captain of? I'm not flying that boat.
Actually, Nut and Honey didn't cause as much fights as the cereal Nut and Bitch. What are you eating, honey? Nut and Bitch.
Nut and Bitch.
My friend once did a radio. He was part of a comedy troupe, and he would do radio sketches. And one time he did Scottish impressions. What are you eating, Lewis? Mutton honey. I'm not your honey, no, Lewis. Now tell me what you're eating. Mutton honey. Lewis, I told you we were young. That's over between us. Now tell me what you're eating or I'll box you on. Mutton honey. That's it.
Oh, by the way, I tried my gob at stand up. I've been doing stand up for a little while now, and my stand up comedy is more like sit down. I feel like
it's like a sit down and shut up comedy.
Yeah. Like it was that light comes quick, man. And in 4 minutes, you are off that stage, and the dick and fart jokes resume. Mine. I'll tell you I won't even tell you.
So the comedy, don't do it now. But the comedy open mic is just dick and fart jokes.
No, actually, there's a lot of jokes about a lot of ailments.
What are you eating?
It's diversity. Sometimes there's jokes about queefs.
Yeah. What are you eating? Dick and farts.
Oh God. If I can give you any advice, Jason, it's not everything can devolve into a Die Hard story.
So, Jason, what is the Oddball sponsored podcast coming up? We're going to talk about that at the end.
You want to talk about it real quick now, Tim?
Is anyone really going to listen to this to the end? Let's talk about it now.
Let's talk about it now while the iron's hot.
All right. So
you and I have very big differing definitions of hot fire, hot iron.
We're going viral right now, Tim. Now's your chance, Xanadu.
All right. So produced by the Oddball Foundation and Jason Wright. It's a podcast I'm doing with my friend Kristen Aldericio. It's called The Two Deans. If you want to know why we're the Two Deans, listen to episode 1. It's the Two Deans dating dread and disasters. It's a show about people's dating disasters. It's a podcast. It's 30 minutes. It drops every Monday. And we'll have guests each week. It's hilarious.
And if you're in the know, You don't even need my last. So Tim put on Facebook, right in the Oddball Foundation, like my name carries weight. I appreciate that.
Yes,
I
it
appreciate
does.
it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Jason, right, but right in the Oddball.
Did I forget your first name?
You did. That's what I'm getting at. Like right in the Oddball Foundation. Like, oh,
Right on.
that
Oddball
right
Foundation.
guy. That fucking right guy.
Xanadu, Olivia Newton-John, Gene Kelly, and Wright. Sponsored by Wright. Xanadu, sponsored by Wright.
Right? Xanadu, Chad. All right. So, all right, we're talking about the poem by Mike Messerson Gibbons.
We are.
If you're just joining,
Is anyone going to read it, or do I have to volunteer to read it? I'll volunteer to read it.
Here to read this one.
Go ahead, Chad.
This is based on a news story, a CNN story to be exact. Donald Trump Jr. accused of shooting protected rare duck at Venice Lagoon.
That's true. Jeez.
All right, read the poem.
The poem is another acrostic. It's called a ruddy shell duck. A ruddy shell duck is, in Buddhist lands, revered. In Italy, this duck is deemed untouchable in Donald Jr.'s hands. Ducks have to be shot dead to be esteemed. Don wasn't sure what bird he had shot at, yet bragged it was incredible to shoot. So rare a waterfowl, implying that he'd bagged it on Venetian game pursuit. Estate lands. Then he learned the duck implies legalities. To shoot it was a crime. Do you have proof I bagged it? Other guys uploading buckshot at the self-same time. Confound the issue, Don says now, though we know someone shot it. Who can prove it's me?
Whew.
If a duck gets shot and everyone hears it, is everyone to blame?
Yeah,
it's an interesting philosophical question.
The duck the duck that was shot around the world.
Jason, yes, you read the bio. Yes.
Mike Messerson Gibbons is a professor emeritus of mathematics at Florida. Although is this all right? So hold on, I'm reading because Tim wasn't impressed by lasers. That's not this bio, so we'll continue reading. Is a professor emeritus of mathematics at Florida State University who has lasers. They're boring. The professor emeritus of mathematics at Florida State University who has returned to live in his native England. His acrostic sonnets have appeared in Autumn Sky Poetry Daily, Better Than Starbucks, The Creativity Webzine, Curate Conservations, The Acrostic Review, Grand Little Things, Lighten Up Online, Mono, The New Verse News, Oddball Magazine, Rat's Ass Review, The Satirist, The Washington Post, and Westward Quarterly. The poem was prompted by the CNN story, Donald Trump Jr. accused of shooting protected red duck in Venice Lagoon. He literally shot it on an estate, like just like, not, wow. It wasn't like he was wild game hunting, he was on a property.
And it was shooting at ducks because I guess foxes are pussies. I don't know. But anyway.
All right.
Chad, you want to take us through this comic? But FYI, there is a Xanadu literary magazine from Walt Whitman High School in Huntington, New York. Xanadu Literary Magazine.
And I doubt they know anything about the movie with Olivia Newton-John.
I bet you the literary magazine is 50 years old and came out the year of Xanadu.
It's got to be a correlation. There's no way that someone just took Xanadu out of nowhere and made a literary magazine out of it.
And what high school kids are going to write poems about Olivia Newton-John? And Gene Kelly.
The Drama Club.
And Wright.
Oh, dear.
And Wright.
All right, so I'm walking you guys through this comic in a way. It's too late at night. I'm walking myself through this comic too.
Yeah, walk through
it's puns on bifocals, first world glasses problems. I like pifocals. I like guyfocals.
No guyfocal.
I like yfocals and cryfocals.
I like all of them.
Which is basically me right now because I'm overdue for a prescription. And Scove. Oh, time to read the bio, Jason.
Ann Scove lives in her hometown of Cincinnati. Her comics first appeared in local street papers, Street Vibes and Article 25. She's a frequent contributor to Funny Times and Belt Magazine, both based in Northern Ohio. She considers having her comics up on your refrigerator door to be the highest form of praise. Reading them while you're on the can is an acceptable close second. Which one's your favorite? Mine's Pie Fogels, obviously.
Nice. Ann Scove lives in Cincinnati. Her comics first appeared in Street Fights and Article 25.
Okay, for that beautiful recitation of WKRP in Cincinnati, you get to read the poem by Richard Spizak. Take a deep breath.
Oh, here we go.
All right, a poem by Richard Spivak. Oh, and and there's the comic. We're not going to walk through the comic. We'll just show us.
Oh, you're gonna walk through the comic. You got to walk through the comic.
Yeah, you need to walk through the comic in his voice.
They're defending science. It's almost like they have an invested interest in knowing stuff. So we actually need air traffic controllers. Who knew? Sad. And nuclear scientists, really? Everyone's against me. First, then there's no tariff. Then the massive. Never mind. I think we're gonna just draw the tariffs out of a bowl. We're gonna figure out. We're gonna do it like Mad Libs. We'll be like, let's choose a number between 1 and 87. We're gonna do raise tariffs 40%, 7% for oranges that come from Orange, Mass, and get sent over to Canada. You know.
It's really oranges come from Orange, Mass. That's fascinating. It's true. It's true.
We can get all our gardeners. We can get all our gardeners from Gardner, Mass. The areas of Massachusetts that aren't Fitchburg are just ripe with other resources, not just meth. There's ethanol. Ethanol it actually produces ethanol alcohol. You know, it's in the name. It's in the name, totally.
Nice.
Wrong.
Leominster is the home of Leos. You know, we if there's anyone that needs an astrological sign, you know, to meet up and get an injection of fertilization, you know, you can get your Leos in Leominster.
Don't also forget about your lemons.
All right, here we go. Poem by Richard Spizak. Educate. Studying history and loving science takes us away from blind myth reliance.
I like him.
Honest data builds a life and drags us up from the miasma of single-cell pond life. Myth and legends have their place, but civilization and technology have their own special grace. The shift to uplift feels good and right. Well-trod footpaths and their recognition enriches our mental activity and improves our conditions. Threading through the waves of history reduces crippling erroneous assumptions, and so many other miseries. When reading carefully the annals of science, we learn of many heroic actors and their experimental reliance. When we carefully stack the facts, we clear the troublesome rubble of hacks. Academy, admittedly, is far from perfect. It is, after all, true that it is humans that work it. It's true scientists' disadvancements that often opposed as any honest reading of science history shows. As science inspires us, we may progress daily, so in our high-tech encrusted lives, we may celebrate with our global breathing and cistern gaily. Repeatable phenomenon upon which facts adhere is one of the ways we grow a better future here. Collect the data, then decide. By all means, never let the fearful steer the ride. We may live surroundings by technology, but for the progress to truly flourish, for human dignity, there is never any need for an apology. Nice. So yeah, it's always great looking at a poem and reading it for the very first time. You get. I'm really glad that I came up with annals of. I read that word properly.
You're just glad you did that right. Yeah, I'm glad you did too.
All right.
Speaking of doing it right, Jason's got to do something right. He's got to read the bios.
And now the bio by Wright.
Great reader. Richard Spizak began his artistic career as a light artist in the Lomonic Studios of Mel Tanner, a legendary light artist. After serving under Jack Horkheimer as a planetarium operator at the Miami Space Transit Planetarium, he left to begin traveling with Loomis Kevin Lehman, whose show Dazzleland and Studios traveled.
Dazzleland.
Richard later worked as a laserist with Laserium in Laser Productions. served as a technical producer for the festival company Pace Concerts, and later as operations manager and senior producer at WWHP and WTCN TV in Stuart, Florida. Richard writes for theater, TV, radio, and the web. He published 2 short story collections, 2 Small Windows in a Pair of Mirror Doors and Between the Silences, followed by his poetry collection, 7370 Allen Drive, and the recently released Stone Poetry. Richard also produces Poets of the East, a televised webcast featuring poets from across the globe.
Nice. WWHP in Stuart, Florida.
I like how he's designing his own artwork and he's found a place for it.
He's found a
Where?
place.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever appeared on his show from across the country?
I haven't. Have you, Chad?
No, Jason, you're looking for gigs. Appear on his show across the country.
I would love to go on his show. Yeah, I'd be happy to.
So withhold his next piece until he puts you on the show. That's how you get
Put
gigs.
me on Poets of the East.
We will not publish your next poem unless poet. I demand that you put me on.
I demand retribution.
We will take over Poets from the East. They will become our he will become our 4th host.
Oh, God.
You know our fourth honorary host.
Our 4th host at this point is going to be John Wessick because he's the only one listening to this shit on Facebook right now.
How do you know he's listening to it?
Because I'm checking my Facebook on my phone.
Oh,
We
John
have
Wessick.
4.
Well, I like
You know
him
what?
a lot.
We've gotten through 4 pieces in 30 minutes. We're at a good pace.
Not really. That's a terrible pace. We'd have a.
I think that's his. I think that's his point, Michael, from The Office. Now go.
Wrong. Wrong.
Wrong.
So
Wrong,
with
very
Hamlet,
wrong.
yes, and this one's probably really long, so we should read the first and last paragraph and see if it makes sense.
Oh, God.
Let's go with Chad. I pick Chad.
I think.
John, thanks for listening, buddy. Appreciate it.
Chad sums it up quite nicely. Chad can sum up this whole piece in about 2 sentences.
This is his name.
Okay, so to sum up, shit's fucked. It's never been fucked shit like this.
Shit's
My sketchy diagnosis just got an upgrade. A while back, I wrote an essay which can be seen through the link of the first sentence. She wrote a story for us back on March 7th of 2022 about a sketchy diagnosis. But she said, a while back, I wrote a small essay on coping with my sketchy diagnosis. I was frank about my myriad of diagnoses, varying from schizoaffective disorder to bipolar disorder to histrionic personality disorder. These were all based on the information available at the time. There was always one small thing keeping me from a firm conclusion. One little thing that kept me in a not otherwise specified bracket. The psychotic episodes and delusional behavior kept throwing physicians off. Back in 2022, it just so happened my psychiatrist attended a presentation on autism where it was raised that psychosis is a known comorbidity that can occur with autistic patients. She had a light bulb moment and handed me a questionnaire without specifying what it was for, but I knew. I cottoned on pretty quickly and based on my answers, her suspicions were reasonably confirmed. She referred me to another clinic. While I waited for an appointment, I took multiple online tests, including a few from my clinical psychologist, and all signs pointed toward autism. Or did it? You're going to have to read the rest of the story and find out.
So wait, I guess the question is the original essay.
Yes, you're going to have to read the rest of the story, Scroll Boy.
No,
now you have to
You'll never
read the bio.
Lynn Hamlet is a
Whoops!
long-term writer.
Are you talking?
Yes. No
Yes,
talking.
Nuts. I
Hamlet
don't think I
is
can hear you anymore.
Oh, well, we can hear
Oh,
you.
here we are.
Lynn
got you.
Hamlet is a long-term writer of various genres, including drama and horror. Left with very little to do growing up in the small coastal town of Osterland, she began writing at 11, scribbling many stories. Where's Osterland? Anyone?
It's in Austria.
Nah. Wrong.
Too easy.
She began writing at 11, scribbling many stories, and sneakily writing in the back of her notebooks in school. Admonished by her teachers for daydreaming in class, she vowed to prove this would one day pay off by becoming a published author.
So my question is, in 2022, the original essay was in Oddball?
Yeah,
Yes, it was.
yeah, but
Yeah,
the
she's
link
doing the
right
3
here.
years. She's doing the 3 years that was.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
So now we're all set for the past 3 years. We can just
wrong,
now.
Wrong.
wrong,
Double wrong.
double wrong.
3 years wrong.
No, but thank you again for submitting, and I appreciate it. And I can relate your story, maybe even the autism part. Who knows? I don't know.
And by the way, Australand is in Australia.
Yeah, Austria. What another? All right.
I was
This
trying.
is your dream, isn't it, Lynn, to have your word
Yeah.
brutally butchered by 3 goofballs, one of which is a Trump impersonator. I'm sure you.
Wrong.
That should be in the.
Two of us.
That will be in the next bio. There's plenty of time.
What if her bio just she's like she just turns on us? She turns heel, and then she just writes all this bad stuff about Tim Gager in her bio.
I think at this rate,
Bring it.
John Wesick is going to join us, but
What?
he's got to join. He's got to join and help her in writing something awful.
Wrong. Wrong. Wrong.
We have so many more pieces to do. Let's go.
Home by Nicholas Leahy. Sacrifice by Thomas Reisner. Look at that artwork. Wow.
This
That
one's
is-
super long.
Liar, liar, I'm fine, bud, don't worry, he says, though my mind remains a flurry. It's not right, day and night he's no better. He's not getting worse, but this does not fetter. My worries, my concerns, the sight of him dying slowly, all the while of his health he is lying. Liar, liar, he is stubborn and prideful to a fault, of course, and damn near if not suicidal. Worry, worry, what do I do for my brother and myself, and if I can for him too? Liar, liar, it's fine, bud, don't worry, he says with exasperation. My worries, my woes met with abnegation, anger lies, though malice is lacking. The bills come on in, I worry of packing. Liar, liar, help comes and woes of money leave, but for him, for my dad, though he's here, still I grieve. His condition is worse, I must remain weary, all while he watches Little House on the Prairie. And it goes on. Liar, liar. Great story. Liar, liar. The lies stop. It's over. He's now at rest. The battle is lost. We all did our best. He fought to the end, but he fought us too. For my brother and I must see his through. No lies, no more. He will know the truth. I'll see that it happens, even if it's uncouth. Ooh, that's a
All
deep.
right, I'll do the bios.
All right.
The poet Nicholas Leahy. He's a student at Salem State University majoring in English. I'm also an older brother, proud and responsible for my younger brother, Kevin. Kevin! All right. Thomas Reisner, the artist, was born in Leipzig, Germany in 1971, and I still there. I was born in Leipzig. And
I still live here.
I still live here today. Already in elementary school, I often painted abstract instead of the given concrete drawing. I later retained this style or changed it to abstract figuration. I painted a lot at home, always without professional guidance. I didn't have any specific role models. When I start a picture, I only have a certain idea, but often something completely different emerges. I would describe myself as outsider artist. That's a tongue tie. That's a tongue tie bio.
Indeed.
That is something, and I really like that. I really like that liar liar poem. Good job. Thank you for sending your stuff to Oddball Magazine. We really appreciate it.
And now, speaking of Oddball Magazine and Jason Wright talking, it's time for this previous week's Jagged Thought.
Jagged thought.
Jagged Thought, 561, dreary. Another dreary day in existence. Woke to that little voice that says, "Is this it? Can I shake depression's hand off my back? Can I find something to make me laugh? Is there something I can take to make me shake awake, lessen the pain?" Sleep sounds like the optimal thing, but that voice is deafening and is impacting my hearing. I just want to be rid of it. Shake awake like a caustic tick, like a lunatic in the moonlight. I am dreary in the sunlight. This is the season, I say to myself, bored and broke with no one else. The cavalry isn't coming to save me. Must correct own mistakes. Remake me.
Yeah, Jay, the middle of this poem is awesome.
Oh, thanks, Tim.
Wake awake like a caustic tick, like a lunatic in the moonlight. Those are good lines.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Jason Wright is the editor and founder of Oddball magazine.
Right? Just
His
right?
column appears weekly. His third book, Train of Thought 2, Almost Home, is available now at the Oddball bookstore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Yes.
And this show is produced by Wright.
Yeah, right.
This is so meta and not a conflict of interest at all.
Not at all. Moving on.
Moving on, you saw nothing suspicious.
You saw nothing. $5.99 on the backpack.
Poem by Robert.
For the eggs. For the eggs.
This is a narrative poem. Target. Some places have done a pretty good job removing the homeless and beggars so you can go shopping with the kids without feeling like maybe you should dig in your pocket for some spare change. Seeing is believing, some say. What you see is what you get, others proclaim. The car is at the far end of the parking lot, a long way from the corral. From the corral for the shopping carts. It's hot and the kids are fighting over one of the toys. I don't work here, you reason. And anyway, people need jobs. It's not like it used to be.
Robert Whitmer has lived in Japan for the past, 46 years.
46 fucking years.
I fucking lived in Japan for the last
You lived in
46
Japan
years.
for 46 fucking years.
Has lived in Japan for the past 46 years and is now happily retired. And he's retired. What a life. After 40 years of teaching creative writing and critical thinking at Sophia University, he has made the most of his long holidays traveling widely in many parts of Asia, including several Himalayan treks and long bicycle trips around the islands of Japan. It's kind of gloating a little bit, a little gloat bio. I like it. It makes me feel a little shitty about my little dreary existence.
His bio makes me feel shitty about my own life.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, my long winner of the best bio of the guy you want to be award goes to Robert Whitman. He's made the most of his long holidays, traveling widely in many parts of Asia, including several Himalayan treks and long bicycle trips around the island. You can't take it with you, though.
And recently, he resuscitated Sister Teresa from the dead, and they shared porridge together.
Xanadu.
Xanadu!
Besides the time he spends with family, he spends his days reading, writing, camping in the mountains west of Tokyo, and playing petanque with friends from around the world.
I just want to kill myself.
I can relate to Ed, though.
The winner of the bio you most likely want to be goes to Richard.
Yeah, the bio of the most celebrated person of this week goes to.
I think we should just do a special bio version of the week that was.
Yeah.
Voted most likely to write a bio that pisses off all his friends.
Hey, how's playing petanque with friends from around the world, Robert? I wish I could play petanque. What's petanque?
I don't. Should we Google it? Let's Google it.
I'll Google it.
I don't know. I'm sure it's a card game. Definitely card game.
Definitely card game. Definitely cards.
Definitely cards. 250
cards. Count the ones. Here's a bag.
It's a sport that follows into the category of bull sports. In these sports, players or teams play. It's like a ball. It's like a ball towards a.
This guy.
It could be ball target game.
How to play bowls? BOULES.
Wow.
So there's like throwing balls at target balls. It's very.
I want to let you know that we're just all very envious of your life. That's
all right. So actually, there's a YouTube video if you want how to play bowls or Kentucky.
BOULES. Let's just emphasize that before Jason's head explodes.
Yeah.
They're playing balls. No, Jason.
Balls.
They're playing balls until someone says, "I have a gun." But
I mean, and that's just great. I mean, look at this. Like
Jason Wright is a writer in his 40s with a pen that looks like a brain.
camping in the mountains west of Tokyo and playing balls with friends from around the world.
Edward S. Gold is a poet and fine arts photographer living in Brighton, Massachusetts. His work has appeared in Oddball magazine, Spectrum, Wilderness House Literary Review, Interlude, Currents, and Encore. His poetry collection, Airhead, and other poems was published this year by Reed and Green Books. What a life that guy's lived.
Which is still an impressive bio. And Robert's probably an annoyingly nice guy that he reads Redwood's bio and goes, "Wow, Brighton." Unironically.
Yeah, right, probably.
Unironically, like, "Wow, Brighton. I've always wanted to visit there." No, fuck you, Robert. Okay, we're dissing on Robert for no reason.
Yeah, Robert, we love you. Thank you.
It's all out of jealousy, professional and personal.
It's complete jealousy, really. It's
and anyone's bio is going to look. Anyone's bio is going to pale to that one. You know, like I feel bad that Ed Galt got the bio short straw, but at least mine would have been even less impressive. You'd have to add like Chad Parento died from shame 3 minutes after reading this bio. Like, good Lord.
I mean, honestly, what a life. What a life.
Okay, it's only been 14 hours and we have only 3
My blood pressure is rising, okay? It was a good poem. Good life, moving on. The opinions and thoughts here expressed are not the product of Oddball Foundation at all. Just 3 really jealous, bitter old men who are just sick and tired of life beating the shit out of them.
The Oddball Show is a foundation and a forum for mental health, except for the 3 people fucking running it.
You live in Tokyo? Well, good for you, motherfucker.
Hey, shut up, Xanadu. All right.
I'm so far from Xanadu right now.
Yeah, you
have to believe we are tragic. Okay, anyway.
Oh, my God. Thank you. Poem by let's go. Poem by Shetta Crumb. I'm sure this is going to
okay. Cinderella and the Stepsister's Trial. A Tratina. Yes. Expert witness 1 pleads that the facets of a life are not slicing edges. The self determines whatever tale is found, and evidence otherwise confuses the light. Arresting officer holds high the evidence he found. A shoehorn kidnapped from Diamond Light. In the courtroom, blood drips from its edges. Character witness 1 places a cindered hand daintily on the light, swears her stepsisters are not all flawed edges, but unpolished truths, trying on all shoes found. Verdict. Inadmissible lives, their edges are found to dirty the light.
That was a good poem.
Good poem.
Shetta Crumb is an oft-published poet who likes to paint poems. Words, white space, punctuation, sound on a page, or drifting into an ear, or the media she loves to play date with. One never knows what can happen. Did we need to do a trigger warning around that one? Her whole family was game through poetry when she met her husband, who was editing a small press journal. Who's her husband? Which journal? We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Oh boy.
Oh geez.
And let's go to I'll explain my choice here for the artwork. Temi's Pony VP.
Yes.
I basically my idea here was mixing, fairy tales with, mythology, which are basically, their own kinds of stories.
Love it.
And I thought that it was going to be impossible to get anything else unless I told Jennifer Matthews, quick, take a picture of a slipper leaning on a stove or a gavel. We wouldn't be able to pull that off. So I thought this matched pretty well. Read the bio, Jason.
Temi's Pawnee VP is an ambivert and a stoic art buff who loves to express her skills through literature, visual arts, and music. She is an IB educator and sees learning as a lifelong process. Her stories were featured in 2 anthology books, Mia and Varna. Temi's articles, poems, and paintings have also been published in many digital journals and educational blogs. Temi's spends most of her free time painting, reading, writing, article stories, and poems, playing piano, and watching documentaries and movies. All right. I believe we are at
Ta-da.
James Van Loy. It's all one thing. You're up, Chad.
James Van Loy.
Everything's a musical number now.
Sing it. Sing this one.
Everything. Well, the funny thing is that James sings some of his
He
poems.
sings all of this. He sings a lot.
Or at least sings during it. Like
Sing it the way he sings it.
you don't live and you haven't lived until you've heard him recite his angels and animals.
I've seen that.
Animals and
I've seen him do that.
angels.
I've
So
seen
you've
that.
lived. The rest of you, fuck off. You haven't.
Well, I'll put that in my bio. Move on. Maybe I need to
That's
tweet
gonna
my
make
bio.
Robert go, wow.
Angels and Xanadu.
Oh no.
Angels and Xanadu.
Gene Kelly, James Van Loy, Olivia Newton-John in Xanadu.
Oh, we're never getting this over with, are we?
If I didn't know you said if I had known you to do stuff like this all the time, Tim, I'd be announcing this as the end of your sobriety today. Like you gotta be sneaking absence somewhere. But I know that's not the case. God help me.
If you
I
take
know it's not-
absinthe, is that ruining your sobriety? Just FYI.
If I do what?
Absinthe.
Yeah, that's alcohol.
Yeah, that's
No,
that's
I'm just saying. It's just, you don't buy it. I mean, all right, moving on.
go find loopholes from somewhere else, not me. I'm not giving
Find my loopholes, please.
If you get an endorphin rush laughing at bios, is that a relapse?
This is
If you
true.
drink Listerine and read bios, is that
If you wash your hands with hand sanitizer and sniff them, is that a relapse?
What about whippets?
What about Metamucil?
What about whippets? I think that's now on the Oddball Show. What about whippets? It's all
Someone
one
died from whippets.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew. I worked at Papagino's, and they had they had like an ice cream thing and like a whipped cream dispenser, which had its own like CO2 dispensers that you would reload over and over in a big metal bottle, and people used to take those and get high in the walk-in area, walk-in fridge, and then they come out laughing. I was like, what is going on?
When I worked at Denny's in college, we would wait until the end of the Ready Whip cans.
Oh God!
just huff them, but then we would start emptying out the whipped cream so that we could huff.
No!
It was really bad.
You really developed a whippet problem.
We developed a problem. The Grand Slam with whippets.
Hey, did you kick your whippet problem? If you kicked your whippet problem,
whip it good. Whip it
good.
hot. Whip it good. Whip it hot.
Did you have kicking your whippet problem? All right, Chad.
Yeah, we are reading a magazine, aren't we? It's all one thing.
This is
580. Samson in Gaza. 3. Someone turn down their mic because I keep on hearing an echo, man.
That's just because I just pounded my head on my mic.
It happens. Okay.
I did that.
All these years living at the end of the line out in Old Dorchester, still actually only the original English settlement on that big bay of all the tidal islands, a long century going in and out of that peninsular center, where those Puritans put down their souls so commercial beside the spring bubbling, so pure out the wet side of their Beacon Hill, where somehow I cling regular as I lay out my labyrinth designs in nothing really, but where mere dust chalk on my Veterans for Peace sweatshirt in ever greater rainbow visions. This guy tells me he'd like to help me extend my labyrinth designs all the way up the walk toward Park Street Station, and I smiled to say, yeah, why not? Never knowing what could happen, but still sure my peace labyrinths are more relevant than ever, albeit there's nothing or no one who seems to believe that right now more urgent than ever. Oh, stop the bombing. Stop the bombing. A voice that's inside my head keeps repeating a great anthem chorus singing.
James Van Loy has been a fixture in Boston's poetry venues since the 1970s. He's a member of Cosmic Spelunker Theater and has run poetry workshops for Boston area homeless people at Pine Street Inn and St. Francis House since 1992. Van Looy leads the Labyrinth Creative Movement Workshop, which has Labyrinth titled poems are based on. His work appears weekly in Oddball magazine for a long time now. A long time.
He's the longest running poet columnist we have.
Longer than me. I kind of got a flat tire for a little while.
Janet longer than everyone. Bruce
Janet?
Wise, eat a dick. Now, anyway,
yeah, but Bruce Wise probably has the most.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Janet Cormier, Bamboozled No More, Moving.
You know what's bad when Jason's trying to get to the end.
No, I was actually going to prolong this by saying I was going to do a bit. Can I do a bit real quick?
Don't do a bit. Not with Janice.
No.
Quick bit.
No.
No. And then I pull out my gun.
It's from What About Bob? Let me do a quick bit.
Oh, no.
All right.
Hold on. Before you do that.
All right.
Before you do that.
Wait. We don't have to do that. All right. Oh, what are you sharing your screen for? Are you... What we got going on there? I can't see your screen.
All
right. All right. So this bit is called Moving, and it's a little from What About Bob. All right. So you ever seen the movie What About Bob? All right. He goes. I have trouble moving, and he goes. Define moving. Well, while I'm inside my apartment, I'm okay, but when I get outside, I get weird. And he goes, define weird. He goes, well, I have trouble walking, talking. I have cold sweats, hot sweats, fingernail sensitivity. Have you ever heard of Tourette's? Voluntarily shouting profanities? It's incredibly rare. Shit-eating son of a bitch, douchebag, twat. He goes, why are you doing that? And he said, well, if I say that I have it, then I don't have it. And then he goes like this. He goes, I mean, I could just have a heart attack right now. He fakes like a heart attack. Goes, and then he goes, are you married? I'm divorced. Oh, you're divorced. Yeah, and he goes, yeah, there's, look at it like this. There's two types of people in the world. People who love Neil Diamond and people who don't. My wife loved Neil Diamond. And then Richard Dreyfuss finally goes, oh, I see. So even though you're a paralyzed, multiphobic schizophrenic with multiple delusions of grandeur, your wife left you because she likes Neil Diamond. And yeah. Thank you. That was What About Bob.
That's actually funny.
Yeah. All right.
And now, completely unrelated to that,
the poem Moving. All right. That's where it came from. All right. Moving. Late morning temperatures are slowly moving upward. The sky above appears as an expansive blank canvas, a backdrop upon which filling tree branches welcome us to move with the winds, follow sunbeams, and create a series of images that kick butt, inspiring our minds to look for answers to questions that shall free us, to chase more stars, leap from clouds, and follow more winds, to more places that show us how to care for ourselves in better ways as we continue to embrace hope and wonder. Tim, why don't you read that bio?
Read the bio?
Yeah.
Janet Cormier is a painter who writes prose and poetry and performs comedy. Janet prefers different and original over pretty. She loves collecting stuff, but cleaning not so much. Janet also talks to strangers. A lot. Her column appears weekly in Oddball magazine.
The way Tim read that with a damned her for talking to a lot of people.
No, it was not. I love her stuff, and I love her bio. I just was being dramatic, like Richard Burton.
Richard Burton.
Or Robert Winter.
Oh, no, it's called a callback, people.
Yeah, let's read his bio again.
No, I'm just upset.
No. I want to wake up I want to wake up in the morning when I go to sleep. I don't want to
Yeah.
suddenly give up and my system just
You know
shorts
what?
out and be
Usually
like,
our show's about an
Imagine
hour.
just living for 40 fucking years in Japan and then like living a fucking great life like that. I'm sure he had toil and turmoil in his life, just like all of us.
yeah, but it's probably translated into samurai sword fights. Fuck it.
His 46 years of wonderful is equivalent to our 46 months of wonderful.
What?
It's weighted.
Okay, we've had time. Let's pick out our choice Bruce Wise poem of the week.
And now the Bruce Wise poem of the week.
Is this under columns?
Wise words with Bruce Wise.
It's a column. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Whoomp, there it is. You got it.
There it is. Chad, why don't you read while I just scroll down to show the
I don't read. I have to pick a favorite one. I don't have a whole lot of time. How about I pick a random one?
They're all pretty random. Oh, a random one. Oh, a random one. Yeah.
Flashback.
If you can find a random one, I don't know. I mean, they're not.
Flashback. Some know Lee Harvey Oswald did not murder JFK, but who did was scrubbed out by the FBI and CIA. Yet more important is how many people had been killed to keep the lies ongoing. From that day, the earth stood still.
The Catholic Priest by Chris de Abuel. He rode a motorcycle across the city streets in search of God. He said his rosary again. His mind went wandering among the hidden beats, where one would find the lonely, sad, forgotten men. He took a movie in and felt that he was on a wild adventure to a long, forbidden den. He drove past ladies standing at the curbs at dawn and parked his bike beneath a billboard of regret. He felt trapped in a huge computer game like Tron and longed to get out of his world before sunset. He carried on despite a series of defeats and thanked his Lord for anything that he could get. All right. Chad, you got one?
This is a St. Patrick's Day poem.
Oh,
This is called Monday Morning. Oh Christ!
Let me find it.
Brought to you by
Hello.
brought to you by Irish Spring. I think it's below your poem here.
it's magically delicious.
You daft. You daft.
Irish
punk.
Spring. It's magically delicious.
Oh, this evokes Southie St. Patrick's Day parade. Nothing but stars, hearts, moons, clovers, diamonds, and people shiting all over Andrew Square tea stop. Anyway.
Oh, what are we doing?
Green hearts, orange clovers, brown
brown feces littered streets. Move on,
down
Chad.
here she's kisses.
Yellow urine used to be yellow moons, but we had to keep it accurate to Southie. Okay, anyway, Monday morning.
Green pustules.
Sunbeams upon the carpet, lit up ankles, calves, and shins. The car in the garage, the cat complaining at his feet. The world spins, one hardly can keep up with anything. Here is so much to do, fuck. And yet, it's there. It's met that one can sing. Here on this Monday morning, no complacency, and here the coffee with its MCT drained in this sunny chair, the black and tan cat, like a tiger stretching to suffice, is free from any cockatoos or ancient sacrifice. This is St. Patrick's Day. I'm slowly turning Scottish.
Yeah.
Trees,
Slowly.
this is St.
Slowly
Patrick's
moving down the
Day.
land.
Trees flower white and green and pink. White flocks of starlings in their murmurations rise and sink. The tomb in Palestine is now a porch of fingering. That sounds dirty. Within the chaos of the sun and people lingering.
Cockatoo.
Dude, pants. No.
And you can always go doon tune. Okay.
Christ de Abuel is a poet of Catholicism. St. Patrick, circa 385 to, is that right? Circa 385 to circa 461, is the patron saint of Ireland. Tron was a 1982 sci-fi action adventure. And I think by the love of God, that was the week that was.
That was the week that was.
And it goes on because we have more, but we will not read anymore at this point.
We've reached our hour in 13 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, geez, I know. Well, actually, yeah. We're at an hour, everybody. Thank you so much. Chad, you want to say anything? Tim?
Goodbye. Na na
Tune
na
into
na.
Tune into the Two Deans podcast.
Yeah.
Getting dread and disasters. Oh, it should
Check out the Oddball show. Check out Oddball magazine next month for National Poetry Month. And what's more, check out be around Facebook tomorrow. There might be a special podcast raising money for the late Jeff Taylor's family. I'm in contact with Matt Wall from the West Coast. If it gets started, it'll get started around 10 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern time, 6 o'clock Pacific time.
That's great.
All right, Stay tuned, everyone. You'll know when I know.
This has been The Week That Was. My name is Jason Wright. I'm the editor of Oddball magazine, proud president of Oddball Foundation.
Get the fuck already.
Goodbye, Chad. Goodbye, Tim. Goodbye, everybody. See you next week.
The Oddball Show and the Oddball Foundation is dedicated to mental health advocacy through art.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oddball Show features content intended for mature audiences. If you'd like to view a content warning before listening, please check out the episode description. The views put forth by our hosts and our guest reflect the speaker's opinions and not the official stance of Oddball Foundation. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoy the show.